everyone, for OneWrestling.com. This is Bill Apter. Welcome down to Apter's Alley at the Apter Chat. And today, when big news happens, we don't settle for just anybody in the business. We got to go right to the source. We have to get out my old Rolodex. We have to get out my computer here and see who's at the top of the heap here. And coincidence, several weeks ago, I had the pleasure to be at the Ring of Honor New Japan Joint War of the Worlds show. And while there, I bumped into my old friend, acquaintance, great guy, the COO of Ring of Honor, Mr. Joe Koff. And today, depending upon when you're watching this, today is the 27th of May 2015. Some incredible news came out that wasn't leaked anywhere. So for all the internet dirt sheets not to get this, this is quite a coup. So we went right to the top. From Ring of Honor, the COO, Joe Koff, welcome down to Apter's Alley and the Apter Chat.
Thank you, Bill. What a pleasure to be here, and I'm honored. As I was honored to see you in Philadelphia, I'm honored to sit here with you in Apter Alley. Well,
thank you very much. The alley is all full of stuff and getting some Ring of Honor memorabilia. By the way, before we talk about the big news, let's talk about the big news about the action figures. Tell us.
We got our first prototypes of the heads, the bodies, and they are on the Ring of Honor website. You can get a good look at them. It's Kevin Steen, now Kevin Owens, of course.
Yes.
It's the two Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay, and Adam Cole. And their representations of their heads are seen on our website.
And actually, we're going to pop up a photo of it here, but of course for all the Ring of Honor news, you've got to go to the Ring of Honor website. We've been running all the press releases, and that's great that people will be able to have the action figures of Ring of Honor as you continue to grow the business. And of course today, that breakout announcement that Destination America will be starting for 26 weeks to start airing Ring of Honor. Tell us, and it kicks off, I believe, June 3rd, correct?
Yeah, June 3rd, this next Wednesday, a week from tonight, actually.
Well, depending upon when they're watching this, of course.
That'd be great. So we're really excited to be on Destination America. And it's really, it's a great compliment, Bill's organization, to get this spot on Destination America. As you know, Ring of Honor is seen through the Sinclair Broadcast Group network of stations, which covers around 40% of the country, and we're syndicated on select cable and other TV stations around the country. But because we are a syndicated program in that regard, we're seen at various times and not at one specific time. So by being on Destination America, we are able to be every week in the same time period, which is Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central. If you have fans on the western side of the country, which I'm sure you do, 8 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain.
Okay, now also one of the things that I mentioned to you, I said, I love the shows, I love Ring of Honor, but I live here in the Philadelphia area and I can't get Ring of Honor, and now I'm going to be able to do it along with everybody else who couldn't get it as well.
Yeah, it's very exciting for us. As a matter of fact, it's one of the reasons why I'm so thrilled that Destination America acknowledged us as a wrestling promotion, a premier wrestling promotion, because it gives me access to a lot of markets that we're not in due to various reasons. Most of it FCC regulations of how many stations an individual company can own. So now we're able to get into your home market and our home market, where Ring of Honor was born: Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, every market in the country that has Destination America in it, we're going to be on.
And now, you and I were talking when I called you on the phone and said, would you mind coming on to the Apter Chat today? And I said something to you and you said, Bill, you're the only one who has said this. To me, this is so positive because you're going to be on at 8 p.m., correct, on Wednesday nights, followed by TNA Wrestling at 9 o'clock. So Destination America becomes, this is a positive, it's Destination Wrestling. What a great channel to sit there and watch your 3 hours of pro wrestling.
Yeah, I think it's terrific. And not only do you get to watch 3 hours of pro wrestling, to see two different styles of pro wrestling,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're thrilled to lead off at 8 o'clock. And you know, I'm from the TV business, Bill, so lead in, lead out's really, really important to both parties. And I can't think of a better neighbor to have for Ring of Honor than Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
I think it really works out well for the fan. And you know what? It's all about the fan as far as I'm concerned. Being able to deliver our product to a broader base, to our fan, people who've read about Ring of Honor or they've gotten some VODs, there's nothing like it. You know it. You said it to me when I saw it. When you experience Ring of Honor in person, and that's the closest thing we're going to get is our TV show because we do them live at the arenas where the people
Yeah,
are sitting.
yeah.
It's just fantastic. I mean, I get the goosebumps thinking about the artistic integrity of our guys.
That's great. I love the way you put that. And as you know, here on OneWrestling.com, for the past 2 weeks, we've been running a lot of Ring of Honor interviews that I did backstage at the War of the Worlds. And you mentioned about the way fans react to Ring of Honor. My son Brandon had not been to he's 28 years old now, works for the Gwinnett Braves in Georgia, and he hadn't been to a wrestling show in years, and you people opened the doors to him on your last tour of Georgia, and he's hooked now. He'll be there in August for
Oh,
sure.
I'm so excited. You know, that's what, again, I've designed and I built this company to win over fans one at a time. We had a good running start for the promotion 4 years ago, and you know, I wanted to do a shout out to Carrie Silkin because Ring of Honor would not exist
Yeah,
without Carrie Silkin and all of the goodness and love he poured into this promotion.
absolutely.
It was an honor to take it over and to actually sustain his legacy and take it even further forward. And Carrie, if you're watching, I just want to thank you. You know how much I love you and how much you mean to our organization. And I think, Bill, what your son experienced and what I think most people experience with Ring of Honor is that it is special. It's special in the fact that it's about our brand. And it's about our brand of wrestling that is so specific to the fan that when you go to a Ring of Honor match, you can't help but get engaged by what's going on in the arena.
Sure, sure,
And
sure.
expectations run so high. I've never seen this, and I've been around wrestling a long time. And
I know you're a fan from way back. You told me you used to read the magazines I worked for when you were a little kid. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
Exactly. So when I see what's going on in arena, and I see that the expectation of the fan is met by the expectation of the wrestler performing for that fan, that spontaneous moment of chanting, that magical moment that I've not seen in any other wrestling arena happens because that's how special Ring of Honor is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
it
about
certainly
one
is.
person. It's not about another person. It's about what we represent. And
Mhm.
all of our guys represent our brand and style of wrestling.
You know, when you go back, you were talking about Carrie, who has such a passion for this, but when you start off from the beginning, the roots of Ring of Honor, from Ralph Feinstein to Gabe Sapolsky and to Carrie, I mean, just the steps that this company has taken little by little by little shows some of the other independent companies out there that takes years of blood, sweat, and tears, and positives and negatives, and fighting them all, and finally, you know, getting to a spot where, wow, look what we've accomplished, right?
Yeah, I call it a four-year-old overnight success. You know, and even to go further than that, and like I said, I really became much more familiar with Ring of Honor with Carrie. I'm not as familiar
Yes. Yeah.
historically beyond, you know, before Carrie because
Sure.
it was independent, it was local, it was much
But it is
more,
part of the history, so.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I know the history, and I'm thankful for the history because
Yeah.
when the Samoa Joes come back or when the AJ Styles who wrestle for us come back, I know that history is embedded in them, their DNA. And that's what's so special is that DNA of a Ring of Honor wrestler. You've interviewed so many of our stars,
I
and
have.
I thank you for that exposure.
Thank you.
But our guys are special. And really, Bill, when this happened, it was to me a compliment to all of the work that they've done over the last 3 years. To be recognized by a major broadcasting cable channel, to be put in a very, very wonderful spot at 8 o'clock is so an entry to our organization that it really humbles me. It really does. It humbles me.
Let me ask you this, because this is a logical question then about that. How did you get on their radar?
It's very interesting, you know, when we're a broadcasting company, first of all, so we have kind of tentacles. We have a different Rolodex than maybe wrestling promotions do. And when we read that Spike was losing TNA, and then we found out that Destination America picked them up, we actually went into our Rolodex and called up the people and said, "What about Ring of Honor?" And to TNA's credit, and I give them credit, they had a much broader appeal as far as the industry. Destination didn't really know much about Ring of Honor other than what they read on the internet and how the fans felt about him.
And if it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
Yes, well, we hope so. So we arranged a meeting, and we really started those discussions. And those discussions were months ago. I mean, they were right when TNA was announced going into Destination America. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
And it's just been wonderful. They're wonderful people. They're committed to the product. I mean, for us who are in the business, and for your people that are watching this Skype, and thank you for joining us. We love wrestling, so we're happy talking about it, and we get excited about it, and we see the Briscoes, see Jay Lethal. It's exciting, but to the outside world, to find someone who really embraces wrestling, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
And the Destination America people embrace wrestling, which was so refreshing. And then I did my thing, and here we are.
Yeah, and remember, Destination America has not canceled TNA. At this point, it's going to be Ring of Honor at 8 o'clock and TNA at 9 o'clock. So it's great. I don't know what I'm going to tell my wife, that I have to watch an extra, and not have to, that I want to watch an extra hour of wrestling every week.
Listen, Bill, I want to give you a little lesson. We have to shift the word "have to" get to. You don't have to watch another hour of wrestling. You get to watch another hour of wrestling.
I like that. But with wife, sometimes it's a different story.
Oh, my goodness. You get to watch it. And not only do you get to watch an hour of wrestling, you get to watch Ring of Honor wrestling.
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. So one thing you brought up that I wasn't actually going to bring up during this time was you mentioned Kevin Owens. So tell us about your take on how great he's doing with NXT and WWE at this point.
Why would it surprise anybody? I mean, the first of all, he was a joy to work with, and I'm honored that I had the privilege to have him at the point in his career where he could make that next step. But Kevin is a student of the business.
He is.
And Kevin is very, very well-deserved of what he's getting and the respect, not only from the locker room, but for the fans.
Right, yeah, NXT, it's so, it's like,
exciting for us.
Yeah, and he's perfectly made for NXT.
Well, it's perfectly made for NXT, and really, I think it's an extension of Ring of Honor.
Really?
And if you really look at the NXT program, and by the way, I have the utmost respect for the WWE. That's their business. They're the best at it in the business. They innovate. They execute beautifully. I mean, I could tell you this story, and it'll make more sense now. When we were buying Ring of Honor in 2010, I was down in Tampa, and we were talking to Carrie at the time, and
You're talking about Sinclair Broadcasting buying it,
I'm sorry.
correct?
Yes, thank you, Bill, for pointing that out.
Not
I
a
get a little personal. So when Sinclair Broadcast Group was looking at buying Ring of Honor, we were talking about how we would run the promotion and what was my vision for the promotion. And I said the one thing we won't be, because we can't be, is the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not built for that. That's their business as a whole business.
Right.
We're
it's their house.
We're a broadcasting company, and this is a part of that broadcasting company.
Right.
But I was down in Tampa, Bill, and there was an event going on, a WWE event, and they rolled in 10 semi-trucks.
Yeah, I know, I've been.
And I took a picture of it to send to my bosses who we were doing the deal with, that this will never be us, because we come with 2 paddle trucks. But there's a certain charm to that, and there's a certain respect level to that, because I think at the beginning we were criticized a little bit about our production, and I think because we were compared to WWE. Now I think that we have overcome that because our wrestling is so good, and at the end of the day, people will take a little dimly lighted ring to see unbelievable action that transports you, and you forget about what the lights even look like.
Yeah.
But, so back to Kevin, and I know I have a tendency to ramble a little bit.
That's right.
Back to Kevin, watching him even in the couple of years that I was able to work with him, consummate professional, absolutely adore him, and he knows it. I wish him only the best. He's going to wear that belt, and he's going to be the next ROH graduate, as they say, at ROH alumni, to be another WWE champion.
That's
really
great.
proud of that.
You know, I'm getting old school chills here with the dream matches of ROH versus TNA versus NXT versus WWE, a four-way invasion.
Wow, I think you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to dream about that a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, you never know on Destination America what can take place. Joe, thank you so very much, and we're going to do this every once in a while, just to do a State of Ring of Honor Apter's Alley show here.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm happy to do it.
And once again, tell everybody where they'll be able to see Ring of Honor, the website URL also, and where they can get in touch with Ring of Honor on social media.
That's very fair. First of all, you can always see Ring of Honor on a Sinclair Broadcast Group station. So if you're in a market that has a Sinclair Broadcast Group station, we're always there every weekend. We're also on select cable systems. We're on Nesson, and we're on Cox Sports, and we're on selected stations in Dallas, in Atlanta. So you have to check your local listings. Just, put in search Ring of Honor Wrestling. We're always available at www.rohwrestling.com.
Right.
Please join us at Facebook, facebook.com/Ring of Honor, Twitter, YouTube. We're kind of all there and excited to be there, and we love fans.
Is it going to be the shows on the syndicated shows? Is that the same show we're going to see on Destination America?
Yes, our week starts on Friday night with our first Sinclair broadcast airings.
Okay.
So they would be the last airing of the week on Wednesday night.
Okay, that's great.
So if anybody, of course, wants to see it, and again, Bill, we did it more to get to that broader market.
Sure.
So watching Sinclair and you love your wrestling, and at the time period you watch it, continue watching it, and then watch it again on Destination, so you can see the match you like, watch it a little more carefully.
That sounds great.
We're worth watching twice.
All right. And I do want to tell fans who might be watching this and saying, well, I'm not that familiar with Ring of Honor. You will get educated very quickly, as Joe has said, but you can also go to the website, and there's lots of archived material on the website where you can, and even go to Wikipedia, and you can read about the whole history of Ring of Honor, the rich history now of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and I would also like to ask, your listeners, your viewers, if you ever come to a Ring of Honor event, come up to me. If I'm there, come up to me and say I saw you on Apter Alley. And I like to meet the fans. I like to thank them. Every fan's so important to us, and for them to come out to see us and see our wrestlers work, I want to let them know how much I appreciate it.
That'd be great, Joe. Thank you. So from Apter's Alley, right down here in downtown Willie Apter land, if you will. We always ask people to point at the camera, if you wouldn't mind, Joe. When we sign off, we'll see you at the matches. Joe Koff, the COO of Ring of Honor, and it's great to have you down at the